I mean, I'm good at command line stuff. I use it in my personal life pretty frequently. I found the command line from MongoDB to be not dissimilar to DAX, which is Microsoft's Power BI language. Obviously, you would be doing actual transformations on an actual database rather than just a data set. But I found I compare it to like a DAX meets JavaScript type of situation.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, now I got to ask you, you have a black lamp and it's electric. You have a black desk and it's electric too?
Yeah, my desk stands up.
All right, and your laptop
I was looking around.
Multicolored and it's electric.
Yeah.
Cool. We have Rodrigo.
Hey, Professor. Yes, I followed the video kind of step by step and created a database and two collections. And I ended up using the CSV that I used for the previous homework, which was like the coronavirus CSV.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, and then I within those collections, I used the root operations and was able to insert, find, and delete different documents within the collection.
Okay.
And it was my first time using the command line, and I was wondering if I know in the video when the return command, his was on a single line instead of stacked. Is that just something, a setting, or is that part of the command line?
What he was referring to single update or multi-update, right?
Yes, but for like different items in the documents, it'd come up on one line in the command line.
Yep.
Instead of stacked.
Yeah.
Is that like a
stacked? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Again, he was just kind of just demonstrating the core capability, and the intent was to just give you an exposure to it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all he was really doing in the setting. In fact, in a couple of the settings, if you are the autocomplete feature is really good, and but you really have to know what the commands are, and the commands can become very voluminous in terms of all of the structures and the options. So, using them effectively takes practice, and you got to get used to the practice components associated with it. But I think in his, it was just to do a single update. And again, much of it were just to give you an exposure to being able to create a record, being able to update a record, being able to read and delete a record. And that's really what his whole purpose was.
Okay, yeah, I found it very informative, for sure.
Yeah. Now, in the stack piece here, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's single line return. Did you have an example of what it was returning that made it confusing up here?
Yeah, like in the items in one of those documents, or right there for that first one that the mouse is over, that one. So the items, the item would be in one row, so it'd be 1, comma 2, and then close off with the brackets instead of 1 over 2. If you kind of get my gist. I just thought just like reading it better.
Yeah. I don't know. I have to look into that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to look into it.
Yeah.
Ellie,
Hello. Well, I started using MongoDB.
yeah,
I did the training with the MongoDB directly.
okay.
And I tried to follow along with the training video, but since I don't have two screens, I found it difficult to follow through with the when I was doing the command. I mean, I haven't used the command since I used
Man line, yeah. But I
Ask for
forgot, I
so
was stopped, I was stopped by, you have a graph that starts
yeah,
with sales transactions, and I didn't understand what that was.
I was just using I had taken one of the collections
Okay,
and then I tried to use a graph, the graph feature. So I was just trying it out to see what what you can create with it. I also created my own because I couldn't find. He actually, I think, created the account using a server, and I did the cloud-based account. So
yeah,
I
'cause
couldn't find his.
his server is on his computer, it's not
Uh,
based.
so I couldn't find that collection he was looking for. So I created a collection.
Okay,
So those three I created. I found the front using it like in the front of the house, I would say, instead of using the shell. To edit and create very easy, but I'm sure that you can't create all of the commands that you want, and you would have to use, you know, the MongoDB shell.
I'm just, I'm really curious about, so what were the commands that you used to do the graphs?
Um, Let me go see if I can open it up. It
Because
right
he doesn't
above.
go over any of that in his video.
No, no, no. Yeah, because I winded up taking the MongoDB training.
Well, no, I mean, and that, I think that's exceptional. I'm just wondering, what are the commands to generate the graph?
Oh, the commands are right above. If you look where the collection is, right? It's not here, but if you see on the top right, well, when you're
Here?
on the top screen above, a little bit above, on that screen where you see collections at the headers, there is one that says graphed, and you can click on the graphed, and then it allows you to start creating the graph based on, data that you have.
The data that you have.
Yeah, I found that interesting. I'm only on halfway through that training because they actually give you a free certification. So it's a free
Super,
course. Yeah.
super.
I'm not familiar with syntax. I haven't used it since I used DOS and WinNT. It was a very long time ago. So I would have to relearn some of the commands and language. But I found it useful.
Good. That's excellent. And I applaud you for going through the training video.
Yeah, it's actually I found it easier to follow because the lab they give you access. Everything's on the same page.
Yeah,
So what they're asking you to do in the shell section on the right side is all the instructions of what they want you to do. So again, if I had two
they give you a
screens,
whole
I tried.
sandbox environment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great. Well, this is really good. Congrats.
Thanks. I got my first certificate for the two trainings, but there's like a 12-hour training.
Well, I applaud you. That was really good.
Thanks.
I think that's it. All right. Okay, folks. Let me go back. Okay. So what's coming up? Well, what's coming up is, as I said before, we're going to pivot to the material in terms of how to leverage the data for business intelligence, and that's what we're going to be going through over the next couple of modules. However, I know we did this the last time in terms of each team identifying what it is or where they are in terms of their data model or in terms of their application, their proposal. I want to bring your attention to what is due next week. So next week is the first part of your data model, and that's what we have here. And again, I showed you the example that we had before. What I'm looking for each team to provide and review with me is your dimensional model for your application. And again, look back at the example that I showed you in terms of Amazon, because that was, I think it brings this whole structure together. And I when you all went through your applications, I think you got that main focus. So it's really important that that this comes together. Now, you'll notice here that in addition to the presentation, which we're going to your discussion, which we're going to review, I ask you to put together a short 5-6 minute MPEG movie. The reason I do that is to give you practice in terms of talking about your design. And that's really an important component. When we go through this next week, I'm going to be asking questions as a stakeholder would in regards to what you're doing. And my whole goal is to make sure that as each team is, focused in on the business problem, the questions, and how they are looking to leverage the data going forward. And that's really what the emphasis is for next week. Now, let me, I'd like to just check with each team. Where are you in terms of work on putting together your, you did the project proposal, but where are you in terms of work on your data model? Team 1, you're doing the SD shop data. No comment on Team 1?